Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are solving one of the trickiest SQL interview question, which is SQL pivot problem. And the challenge here is very simple to understand but a bit tricky to solve when we write SQL query. And the original table that we are having is that you have students from different continent all in one table, and you need to line them up side by side like this. America, Asia, Europe, they will become column. That's why the name of this problem is also pivot, because in pivot we sort of rotate the thing. So we will solve this particular problem using these row number and max case. So let's get into it. So what's the problem actually is? Let's first understand the problem. So we have a student table with just two columns. The table is very simple. There are two columns, name and continent, and our job is to pivot this table, meaning we turn continent value which are currently row data into column headers. And that's why this problem is known as pivot problem, because here we are rotating the data by sort of 90-degree. And in the original table, continents are moved sorted as row values, basically going downward. I will show you when in the subsequent slide. And once we run the query, the continent become column headers, basically going across. And that's why the name pivot problem. Here we should understand three things before we start writing query, that the row becomes column. Then second is row numbering. First student from each continent goes in row 1, second student in row 2, and so on. And third, for null, for missing. Now let's see the table structure and sample data. So the schema is super simple here to understand. Only two columns, name and continent. There is no primary key as such. And this is the table that we have. Alice is from America continent, Bob is from Europe, Charlie from Asia, and David is from America. So there are two names who belongs to same continent, and remaining Bob and Charlie, they are from different continent. So if you see in the first slide I have shown you that this is the expected output. So if you see America, Asia, and Europe in this original table, they are lined up in the rows, and in the final output they will become column. That's why again I'm emphasizing this, because this is something a very tricky problem. It's not a easy problem to solve. So we should also understand why we are saying it's a pivot challenge or pivot problem, because rows are becoming column here. And the uneven distribution, because there are two name who belongs to one continent, and there are two other name who belongs to different continent. And this uneven distribution is exactly what makes this problem even more difficult, because our output needs to handle the fact that America has two rows. America will have two rows, Alice and David, while the others two continents, Europe and Asia, they will only have one row. So we also need to handle that. So let's see the next slide. So visualizing the transformation, as I was mentioning that this is the final output, desired output we are having. And in between, if you see, this is the pivot that we have mentioned. America has two students, which is making this uneven distribution. So if you see Asia, then you will see null in the second row. Similarly for Europe, you have null in the second row. And for America, David will be coming in the second row. So this is about visualizing the transformation, that what's the transformation all about. And the trick here is that we assign each student a row number within their continent. Then we will use conditional aggregation, and here we will using max with case. This is very tricky, and you should emphasize as much to understand why we are using this. And you will not understand it at once, of course. You need to see the video maybe one more time, and then write the query on your own, only then you will understood. But once you write the query on your own, it will be very clear. It will not be difficult anymore then. So first of all, what we are doing, we are writing CTE here. By CTE, it's a temporary table. So this is the format of CTE. You must be knowing, or if you don't know, you can refer any of our previous video where we have discussed common table expression. It's basically a temporary table, and the format is you start it with, then the name of the this temporary table as, and then the bracket. Now we are having select to select the name of the column. We are selecting both the columns, name and continent, then a row number, then over partition by continent. So we want to make this row number within continent. So basically when the continent change, the counter should again reset to 1. Order by name, within that partition by, we want that the sorting of the name should be as per their alphabetical order in name. And this is the alias name that we are giving, RN, which is basically short for row number, from student. So if you just visualize this, although CT doesn't directly display the result, but for your visualization, if you run this query, this is this is the sort of the output that you will see. RN refers to row number. So America, row number 1. If you see, there are two names, Alice and David, for America continent. And since we have order by name, and Alice is coming first in the alphabetical order, so Alice will be assigned row number first, and David will be assigned row number 2. And since we have done the partition by continent, for Europe the counter will again reset to 1. Similarly, Asia is again a different continent. When we execute this row number for this continent, again the counter will reset to 1. So this is the row number that you can see in the or you can visualize for this particular CTE. This is the step 1. Now let's move to second slide. Yeah, pivot using a max case. So the actual pivot using max with case. Here the full query. Let me walk you through every part. So this is the CTE that I have just described in previous slide. This is at the top is same row number logic we just saw. Now the main select statement. Here we are having these three lines. A max case when continent is America, then name. So when continent is America, then we will get all the names for which the continent is America, and this will be the name of the column that will be created. Similarly, case when continent is Asia, then name and again Asia. Case when continent is Europe, then name and then Europe. From ranked students, so this is the CTE. Basically we are using this table here, from ranked students. And then we will do group by RN, basically group by row number. This is where the row alignment happens. All students will with row number equal to 1 collapse into one row, and all students with row number 2 collapse into next row. That's why having a group by here is very important. Finally, using order by RN ensures row 1 appears before row 2. So your query will also run perfectly without order by, but using order by ensures that order 1 appears before row 2, and that's basically cleans the data. Now the question here is that why max here? Because I know you might be thinking why max, why not just case alone? So the concept here is that max ignores null automatically, and if you see, this is the intermediate output in between when that case will, what case will return. So Alice is coming here. So in the previous slide, if you see, when continent is America, then name. So when continent is America, then name. So Alice. So when continent is America, then Bob is not having America continent, that's why it will be null here. Similarly for Charlie, it will be null here. But David belongs to America, so David is coming here. Similarly for Asia, you can see that null is coming for Alice and Bob. Only Charlie is coming because Charlie is who belongs to Asia. Similarly, Bob belongs to Europe. For remaining rows, it is having null. So when we do group by, basically with max, all these nulls are basically discarded, or max ignore nulls automatically. And also you should also aware that aggregate functions are computed after group by. So when we do this group by, then all the nulls are automatically ignored using max function, and you will get this output, which is our desired output in fact. So this is written here also. We have covered in slide that max ignores null automatically. Each group, row number equal to 1, row number equal to 2, yields exactly one no-null name per continent column. That's the final pivot. So this is why we have used max case here. So again, just a more description of whatever we have been discussing till now. This is the final output, and basically the key takeaways that we can take from this particular query: row number over partition by continent. So number students within each continent separately. That is the essence of partition by. Max case when continent equal to x, then name. This creates one column per continent value. So that's why we are using case when here. Group by aligns students with the same row number into a single output row. Max naturally ignores null. No extra handling needed for unequal group sizes. So as I mentioned that if you see this, there are many nulls. So max automatically ignore nulls, and there is no extra handling needed for unequal group sizes because the group size was unequal here. For America continent there are two names. For Asia and Europe there are only one name. Now we will see this in the SQL Management Studio. I have already created the same table and inserted values. So if I execute this query, you can see this was the table I was referring in the presentation also. So I will write the same query that I was just showing you in the presentation. First of all, we will write the CTE with ranked students. This is the name of this temporary table. Select name, comma, continent, or you can also write this in second row so that the output looks bit clean to you, so that you have easy when you visualize this. Continent, comma, then you are writing row number function here. We have already discussed row number also. Over partition by partition by continent order by name as Rn from student table, and this is your CT which is completed here. So you can also click on the arrows to see that with which corresponding bracket it's closing. So if you click here, you can see that it's automatically getting highlight here. Now we will write our main query. This is the CTE that we have written right now. Select. Now we will use that max case statement here. Select max case when continent equal to America, then name and as America, because we need to provide the name of the column. We can copy this as it is, only the continent name will be changing. When continent is Europe, or you can write Asia, then name of the column will also be Asia. It's copy paste it again and just change America is there, Asia is there, Europe, then name and the name of this column should be Europe. Now we need to write from, and this is the CTE table that we will be using here, from ranked students, and again we will do group by RN, order by RN, and if you execute this query, that should work. Yes, this is the desired output that we were expecting, that Alice and David and Charlie and Bob, they are coming side by side, and these America, Asia and Europe are now coming in the name of the column. So guys, I hope this problem is clear to you. I know that this is a bit tricky and a little bit different from other problems, but if you try to solve this on your own, I feel you will get the clarity after one or two attempts. And in case you have still any doubt pertaining to this particular problem, you can ask in the comment section anytime. We will again meet you in the second video with some more exciting problem. Thanks.